I'm back, looking good, fresh haircut. Now it's just time to shave. Oh, and it's been a while since I made a video, because the last video that I recorded was, I think, end of last week. So it's Friday today. I think the last video that I did was it last Friday? Or maybe it's the beginning of this week. I'm not sure. But we're getting close. Time is ticking. And I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. Yeah, so the last video I posted, I hit the 400, which was huge. And then I still plan on maxing out this upcoming Monday, so in like 3 days from now. And so this week, actually no, I hit 400 this week. No, yeah, I made a video this week. Okay. Well, since then, I took like one easy day after I hit the 400, and then, which was, I guess, Tuesday, and then Wednesday I hit another like rep PR. I ended up hitting the 365 for 3 doubles, which is crazy because I remember like my first video, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something, I remember I think I failed 400, and then I went down to 365. I wanted to hit that for double, and I failed that for a double, and then I went to 355 and hit that for 2 doubles, and that looked like a struggle. And then I think last week I did a video where I hit 365 for 2 doubles, and I remember saying then, like, dang, that felt easy. I feel like I could have done it for more. And so then on Wednesday, I went in and I hit 365 for 3 doubles. And granted, it felt harder than last week, but also it's because I hit the 400 at the beginning of this week, and so my legs were cooked. But but dang, I got it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely on the track to hit 405. So yeah, that was Wednesday. I guess instead of talking like about the front squat over the several days, I'll just go day by day. So I'll do like front squat, talk about front squat, bench, and deadlift. So talk about everything that I did on Wednesday, and then I guess I'll get into what I did yesterday. But yeah, so the front squats went super well. I've been messing with my stance a little bit because I've got long femurs, and so you want a pretty wide stance, and so really it's not, I'm going between like wide and like super wide. So like for me, just like regular width would be like shoulder width, and I've got like kind of broad shoulders, so like shoulder width, and then super wide is like even like way, like a little bit more outside shoulder width. And I think the reason why, it's not because I have a problem hitting depth, because I can hit depth just fine with both stances, but it's my upper back that falls forward. I think when my feet are closer together, I gotta think about like the biomechanics of it, because I feel like in one of the positions it's easier for you to fall forward, and one of them it's less so the case. But I don't know if your feet are closer together, is it easier to keep your back upright, or if they're wider, is it easier to keep your back upright? I don't know. But yeah, now that I'm talking about it, I have no idea. And so that's the the only reason why I switched my stance. And I'm not sure. I think, well, regardless of which it is, I think the wider stance just feels better and I feel stronger. So I'm probably gonna keep it a little bit wider than shoulder width and just go with that. And because, well, obviously I got 3 days, so it's like, hey, don't mess with it too much. I guess I'll mess with it a little bit today because I'm going super light today, but I'll get to that. I'll talk about that, like what I'm doing today and tomorrow, later in the video. But then anyway, so front squats were chilling, hard, but I was happy with it. And then bench, yeah, so at the beginning of this week, after the 400 bench, I hit the 165 keys, which is 364. And then Tuesday was like a light day. And then Wednesday, after the 365 for doubles on front squats, I hit 145 kilos for 2 sets of doubles, so that's like 320, I think, for sets of doubles, which was honestly pretty. It felt heavy coming from the 165 on Monday, but heavy but smooth. So I'm happy with it. I'll take it. But yeah, my chest is super cooked. I mean, everything in my body is like super cooked, which is crazy. Well, it's because I'm going for like very maximal attempts because I'm doing so low volume. But if I was doing like the classic Bulgarian prescription, which is like you know, you hit a minimum, which is like between 80 and 90%, and then if you feel good, you go for a maximum, which is like 85 to 95. Like, you should like not be trying to set PRs like every workout unless you're like rehabbing from like an injury or like a sickness like I was, and so I could make the gains every workout. But now that I'm getting closer to 4 or 5, like I'm really trying to push it, and I can't like I tried, like I can't do any more weight for singles because like I tried 400, I failed it. I tried 400, I failed it. Tried 400, I finally got it. And I'm just trying to go for 4 or 5. So for me to add 5 pounds to a heavy singles, like damn near impossible, unless like I'm like fully maxing out. So I've been trying to go for what I said in the last video. I think like I'm gonna go for more like heavy doubles and try to set like rep PRs, so like weight PRs for sets of 2, and not just like 1 set of 2, but doing like 2 or 3 sets of 2 with a certain weight. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been making progress, so that's a good sign. But yeah, so bench went super good. And one thing I did on Wednesday, so usually I've got long arm, like crazy long arms too, which helps on deadlift. And if you look at the bench, I bench with and what I've always done and what I feel strong with is my ring finger on the rings, which is like super narrow because my wingspan's like 6'4". So I go ring fingers on the rings, and I come in like hella close, and like very like tricep dominant at the bottom, and it works for me. I mean, I don't do pause, so I can't say if that like using such a narrow grip would be more advantageous for me for paused bench. But that's where I feel that like that's what feels the most natural, which is crazy because like when you look at my bench in the bottom, it's like my arm's like not even 90 degrees. It's like my forearm's like a little bit inside 90 degrees, which is like insane because you're not supposed to bench like that. Like even like the super strong benchers, you know, like the John Hack and the Julius Maddox, like the crazy like super like heavy benchers, they all seem to use a narrow grip, which I don't know why. When like the lighter powerlifters all go like super duper wide, I guess that your arch has to do something with it, because like if you're gonna like try to like cheat the range of motion with the arch, you might as well do the same with your grip and like really try to really try to cheat it out. But I've never been a big arch. I don't even know how to get an arch. I've been trying to watch YouTube videos and try to learn so I can cheat out as many inches as possible. But yeah, I guess the close grip just isn't as like cohesive with a low arch bench. But anyways, I've noticed that angle and I was like, surely that can't be right. So what I did on Wednesday, and it's something I've been experimenting with. So like a few weeks ago, I did index finger on the rings, like super wide. And there I was getting like just at 90, maybe a little bit more at the bottom with a lot less flare. And my elbows being a lot more tucked. And that felt just way harder, but I think it's because like I've never done it before. And like I felt the way more in my pecs, obviously. But since I've never benched so wide, it's like, I guess I don't have as much, like I've got decently sized pecs for me. I feel like it's always been a decently like developed body part, but I guess like just the strength isn't there compared to my triceps and my shoulders. But on Wednesday when I did the 145 for doubles, I put my middle finger on the rings and I was like, okay, let's find a middle ground and see. And it felt all right. It still felt a little like it's crazy how much of a difference you can feel just moving like not even an inch, like half an inch, like one finger width. And it felt like I got the 145 for doubles. So I got it and it felt smooth. As far as like what am I gonna do like next year as far as training, I don't know yet. Like as far as like finger width, but I want to get set on a technique and just stick with it. So I'll see. I don't know. I'll do more thinking. I'll do more like experimenting and see. But probably when I max out, I'm just gonna go like to like what I know with the ring finger on the rings. But yeah, the 145 for 2 felt good. And then after that, I did deadlift, and I was so fatigued after Monday, after doing the heavy squat, like the max squat, max bench, in the like 525 on the stiffy, the deadlift. So on Wednesday, I was super quick. I was like, I don't even want to like go super heavy. I'm just gonna go for like a rep PR. So I did 495 for 3. It felt pretty good. Nothing crazy. I gotta check. I don't even know if it was on a stiffy or a deadlift bar. I don't know. I gotta check. But 495 for 3 felt pretty good. Nothing crazy. And then, so all that was, and that's it. I just did 1 set of 3. And then that was Wednesday. And then my idea, so going into Monday, I was like, okay, I want like one more day to like overreach, which would have been yesterday, Thursday, before I start like just tapering down all my intensity, because like I can't even taper volume because I'm doing like 5 reps a day. So, but I was just so cooked, which I wasn't too happy about, because I was like, oh, just one more day of pushing it, and then I'll give my body time to rest. But it just wasn't there yesterday. Like the front squats were just feeling heavy, and so was the bench. Like I'm just so sore. It's so sore. And so, and oh, also one thing which I was thinking about is like, as far as like why my back squat feels so uncomfortable, and why my upper body seems to always lean forward. And so one thing is I have long femurs, which plays a role, but I have flat feet, and I've known this. I'm born with it. It's genetic. I've been like, I went down like the flat foot rabbit hole like last night on YouTube. I have flat feet, and it's because, yeah, it's genetic. I've had it all my life. A lot of my physical characteristics, like I inherited from like my mom's brother, because I'm basically like, for the most part, just like a spitting image of him, as far as like my like body morphology. I don't know, like the way I'm built. I look like my mom a lot, but I'm built like her brother. So as far as like the flat feet, and the way I walk, and my posture, my gait, everything. And so I went down like a rabbit hole, and it's like, okay, maybe, and I was looking at like for like squat cues and things that helped other people who were having trouble keeping the bar over midfoot. And one thing that I've heard before in the past, like for years, but like never really gave any like credence. Is that the word? I never gave it any credence. I never paid attention to it, because I was like, surely that, like, I know I'm doing it right, surely. It was like the tripod stance, where like you try to balance your weight evenly over like the ball of your like big toe, your little toe, and then like the heel. I was thinking, I was like, let me try that. And then I realized it felt like weird. And then I realized, wait a second, maybe it's because I have flat feet, that's like affecting the like biomechanics of like my foot. And so like I was watching tons of videos, and they were like, yeah, if you have like flat feet and overpronation, that you can't get like foot eversion, which affects like the internal rotation of your tibia and this and that. It's like, okay, that all went way over my head. But the takeaway was, flat feet, no good. So what I did, I was doing like body weight squats, basically trying to like put a lot of like scrunch my toes at the top, try to like form like an artificial arch, like just squeeze my toes, like grab the floor as a cue, and then grab the floor and then spread the floor, and try to like put like a lot of the weight on like the outside of my foot, like the outside edge. And I did that, and I went down, and I was like, whoa, this just feels like way more natural. Like I've heard the cues spread the floor and I've tried it, but it feels different when the weight is on the edge of my foot versus when I'm completely flat-footed. It feels totally different, which is crazy, but it makes sense. It's like, yeah, if your feet are not in the proper position, that totally affects like the dynamics, the biomechanics of like your leg and your hips, and the way like everything just like inserts and like works together. So that's one thing I experimented with on the front squats, and I think it's like, I don't know if that's the reason. Well, it was heavy because my legs were sore, but that was like one more thing I had to think about while front squatting, like 365. So I did 365 for 3 singles, which felt heavy. I wanted to go heavier, but like I think, I don't know, like for back squats, high bar and low bar, like it felt super natural, but on the front squats it didn't feel as natural. And I think that's because with front squats I take a decently wide stance as it is, and so for me to think about like putting the weight on the edges of my feet when they're already wide and already flared, like I think it was causing me to like lose balance a little bit, but also just the fact that I was thinking of like one more cue probably just like distracted me from like the movement. And so could I have done more than 365 for singles? Maybe just like a little bit. Could I have done 365 for doubles? Definitely not. I was super sore, like that was not gonna happen. But I'm gonna go in today. Well, yeah, I'll get to today afterwards, but yeah, so I did the front squats and then I went on the bench, and I knew I wasn't gonna bench heavy because like I felt super sore. So I did 315 for a single just to see how it feels. And my initial plan was just 315 for like 3 singles. But the first 315 was heavy, but it moved well. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hit 315 for double, and then ended there, and that's what I did. So I hit 315 for one, rested, and then hit 315 for double. Everything was Gucci. Well, there's a sign, Simply Lemonade. It's getting juicy. Yes, it is. And then for deadlift, I was feeling decent on deadlift. I don't know why, just like my hamstring, glutes, my whole posterior chain, which is, yeah, I don't know why that recovered and everything else didn't. But I wanted to work up to something heavy, and then that's gonna be like the last deadlift work that I do until I max out the deadlift next week. So I went up and worked up to 545, and it was hard, it was heavy, but that's the most I've done like this entire block since like I hurt my hamstring and I came back from like the food poisoning. So not bad. It was hard, it was slow, but I think I got more in the tank after like I tapered. So we'll see. And yeah, that brings me to today. I'm almost at the gym, but yeah, so that was like my last heavy day. It's Friday today. I'm planning on maxing out like front squat Monday. Let's maxing out the lifts on different days. So front squat Monday, bench Tuesday, deadlift Wednesday. Or I might do like squat and bench on Monday and then deadlift on Tuesday. I don't know, we'll see. But so it's Friday, so game plan today and tomorrow is taking like super light, low intensity, just like really dial in technique. Sunday's a rest day, and then I come in and we see what I got on Monday and Tuesday and maybe Wednesday. But yeah, feeling good, ready to just honestly just get it going. And then as far as what I'm gonna do after I max out, I have no idea. We'll see, I'll brainstorm. But yeah, I'll put up videos of all those lifts that I hit earlier this week. I'm probably not gonna record like the super light stuff that I'm doing today and tomorrow, just because it's like literally when I go super light, it's just like front squat 1 plate, bench like the bar maybe 1 plate, and then deadlift like 1 plate, and just work on technique, and then I'll like crush arms or something. But yeah, I'm excited. Stay tuned. Let's hit these PRs and yeah, move on to bigger and greater things. All right, take it easy, guys. Take care. Ciao.
That's all, folks.